Today I'm trying a pregnancy test. Well, there it is. Pregnant. Alrighty, now you've heard it from me. I've seen a few curious comments in my latest videos, and I appreciate that you've given me space to approach this as I felt ready. Not that I have all the answers yet, like when or how will we tell Marla? Or what's it like parenting two children? Or how might this birth be different than the last? Some things we can only figure out when we get there, and that is scary, but I'm learning that being scared isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just got back from my first doctor appointment. I'm having some ice cream because it's so hot outside. There's like a heat wave warning. But I don't know, I just tried to walk slowly and stay in the shade. My first order of business is some blood work, a urine test to fully confirm that I am pregnant. There are a lot of things I am getting tested for on here. Rubella, HIV, hepatitis B, chlamydia, to name a few. I forget how all of this worked, but I did keep a diary last time from every time I went to an appointment. So I will refer to that whenever I'm confused about what's supposed to happen next. Being pregnant for the second time, it's like there is an upside in having gone through this before, so you kind of know what to expect. It's nice to have a bit of that ambiguity cleared up, but for all the parts that you didn't enjoy, you kind of just sit there being like, oh, it's probably gonna happen again. I got an email from the midwife. Yeah. I had such a positive experience with this last time. I'm so happy that they had a midwife. Today, I got to meet my new midwife for the first time. It was good. She's chatty. It was pretty funny. I was so curious how different it would feel to have a different midwife. Like basically trying to suss out how much of midwifery is like touched by a person's personality. And honestly, I guess I'm yet to find out, because like really this was just like an initial meeting. Next week I'm gonna go visit the clinic in person. She said I can do all my blood and urine tests there, which is nice, so I don't have to go to a separate facility. And I'm gonna get a dating ultrasound done, which tells you your actual due date. It's helpful because I have a very unpredictable period length, but it's kind of unhelpful because at the end there's like no guarantee of exactly what day you're gonna give birth, unless you get induced, which could happen again.
Hello.
Hello. The other person I wanted to update was my co-pilot coach, Darian, who, if you've been watching for a while, is the same coach I've had since I was postpartum with Marla over 2 years ago. I'm so happy they're back sponsoring this video. Co-pilot matches you with a virtual coach who customizes personal guided workouts that fit your goals, schedule, experience, equipment. It has made fitness so easy. My previous goal was to build body strength postpartum so I could keep up with Marla, and now my goal is changing to maintaining my fitness while pregnant. Before co-pilot, I had a really hard time sticking to a workout schedule. I would be unrealistic, too ambitious, and then give up, or I would feel a bit lost searching and picking workout videos and not really knowing if they fit my goals or what I had at home. Now I just open the app, jump right in. I have so much confidence in my workout plan, no more self-troubleshooting, and it is completely realistic and doable for me. My co-pilot coach Darian has been so encouraging and understanding on my fitness journey, especially since she's a mom of 2, so I'm really happy with our match. We've made a lot of changes to my workouts over the 2 years together to maintain something that was realistic yet focused, using only the equipment that I already own, and it even goes down to like the tiniest details. Like in this call, we agreed that my future workouts should consolidate floor work, and standing exercises because I found I was getting a little lightheaded switching back and forth too much. She even keeps track of my due date so she can just adjust my workout with my body changes. And as someone who honestly has never been able to stick to the gym, it has made a world of difference to have the flexibility to work out at home anytime, anywhere, pause workout if the baby needs you, jump right back in whenever you can. If you want to give this a try, you can click my Copilot link. Here it is on the screen. I'll have it in the description as well. You'll get a 14-day free trial and 20% off your first month of personalized fitness. This is just if you sign up before February 1st, so I really recommend checking it out.
I have an appointment at 3 p.m. for ultrasound.
The first trimester felt like quite a few appointments. I was meeting my midwife in person, doing urine tests, another ultrasound, more blood tests. Side note, I always find the organization of medical equipment really satisfying.
Hello, I am getting ready to go for my second ultrasound. This one is combined with a blood test and it's supposed to measure the likelihood of baby having Down syndrome. Last time I was in a waiting room, I realized that the main way I like to pass the time is listening to a podcast or playing music, but in a waiting room you can't because you need to pay attention for your name. Oh, hello, Sagwa. And so this time I have a book. You know, Sagi? We have been theorizing that Sagwa can definitely tell something is going on. She's extra cuddly and snuggly with me, which, you know, I'm not mad about. Getting used to it. Something came in the mail. What do you think it is? So my brother actually works at Apple, and so as a good sister, I obviously had to support. I'm just kidding. It's such a ridiculous reason to buy an iPhone. I currently have the 12, so I've been really excited to get the 15. Oh, now I'm nervous. I feel like it's been a very long time since I've had a new phone. Actually, I'm pretty sure I got this phone while I was pregnant waiting for Marla, and now I get a new phone waiting and pregnant again. Whoa, actually taken aback. Wow, I got the titanium, which I think is also the first time I'm breaking from black in many iPhones. Oh my, wait, nope, that was definitely not the way I was supposed to do that. It's the most industrial looking iPhone I've seen in a really long time. I'm not mad about it, but I'm intrigued because I've been so used to the glass. Wow. Wait, okay, wait, I got a case. Because I use my phone for work, Dan is often pushing me to update at like a more frequent rate, but I really was hoping iPhone 15 would be the one with USB-C, and my wish came true. Hello. Where's my, oh, I'm using my iPhone. Okay, I gotta stop recording to finish this. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys tell a difference? Okay, wait, no. I can tell a difference. Wow. Today, actually, I've already cried like twice. It's because this morning I woke up to messages from my best friend saying that she went to the hospital, she's in labor, she's making progress. And just now we got the first photo of a newborn baby. It's crazy. Actually, I feel teary-eyed even just bringing it up now. I don't know why it affects me so much. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of good explanations why. While I was waiting for her to give more updates, I ended up rereading the detailed document that I wrote of my entire pre-labor, labor, postpartum
journey, I just had a feeling I was going to forget it all, and I wanted to write it all down. And I've never shared this with you guys. It's something I wrote it thinking even like maybe someone would want to read this if they find labor a bit of a murky, or I don't know, it just kind of like demystifies it. But of course, it only speaks to my own experience, so it's not like it really demystifies anything. It just shares like, this is what happened to me. And that ended up making me cry. Like, I remember thinking at the time, am I writing with enough detail? Am I glossing over things? Will future Wendy be disappointed or happy with the amount of detail that is going into this? And it was detailed. Brought me right back. Every little thing. All these things I forgot. And it does hit different knowing that I'm currently strapped in to head towards another labor experience. At 42 weeks, today's the day. I'm getting induced. Woke up to heavier contractions every 15 to 20 minutes. I did my hair and makeup, and Dad drove us to the hospital with our overnight bag and car seat. 8 a.m. We're checked in and waiting for our midwife. 10 a.m. I lie down on the bed with a pee pad underneath me, and I have 2 monitors strapped to my belly, one to graph contractions and one to graph my baby's heartbeat. The midwife breaks my water. I'm now about 3 to 4 centimeters dilated, and I'm generally able to manage through my contractions alone, and I'm in good spirits. Some computer issues in the room, so we may have to move to another room. Dan spent some time trying to troubleshoot, but I think we're just gonna go to another room. 11 a.m. Honestly, we're mostly chilling. I'm slowly leaking warm water onto the pee pad. 12 p.m. The induction has started on a standard dosage, but it's leading to long, intense contractions that sometimes seem to stress out our baby. The midwife decided to turn it down to a half dosage, but the contractions went on being about 10 to 15 minutes apart instead of moving towards 5 minutes apart. We turned the induction dosage back up, but it seemed to be stressing out the baby, and the contractions were going on for really long, so we just turned it off completely to see what was going to happen. 3 p.m. We have completely stopped the induction. I am now managing my contractions by standing. I did get really physically tired, so I ended up switching to sitting on a ball. The midwife has been considering putting me back on induction, but actually, after checking my cervix, we find out that I'm 6 to 7 centimeters dilated. So I've made a lot of progress, and I'm gonna be going through labor without any more induction support from here. 4 p.m. Contraction pain is increasing severely. I'm doing deep breathing, I'm praying in my head, I'm just going one contraction at a time. The back pressure that Dan is giving me honestly feels essential to get through every contraction. Like, I manage through a few of them when he has to use the bathroom, but if one is coming while he's away from me, I end up calling his name frantically to come help me cope. So we have done very little messaging updates with anyone because Dan barely gets any time on his phone. 5 p.m. Our student midwife arrives. She gives us some further verbal coaching. She also occasionally squeezes my hips, which is super helpful. The contractions, honestly, are sometimes scary. The pain would come and I could feel my body tense up from fear that it would be unbearable. I try really hard to relax. I did go to the bathroom to pee a few times, which was also really scary because the contractions would come while I was peeing, but Dan would join me and help me through. 6 p.m. Out of exhaustion, I start falling asleep between contractions while standing. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. I don't even hear what my midwife is saying to me between contractions because I'm asleep. I can't believe I was literally so tired of falling asleep while my body was in the most pain it's ever been. Woo! The midwife checks my cervix and she coaches me through a really big push during a contraction from 9 to 10 centimeters. It's game time. I also added a note here that pushing is like as if I'm using my muscles to poo, and often before going through labor I would just tell myself it's just gonna be like the worst poo you've ever had in your life. That was how I tried to capture labor in my head. 7 p.m. I began bearing down with each contraction. They came so fast! Exclamation mark. I wanted a break so bad, but just as I caught my breath, a new one would come. Thankfully, pushing provided sufficient muscular distraction from the pain of the contraction. The student midwife would touch the spot on me where they wanted me to concentrate my pushing, and this was extremely helpful in guiding where to focus my pushing energy, and I felt so relieved every time I finished pushing, though very short-lived. This note about the midwife touching me and guiding me, it just reminds me of how like vulnerable the experience is. We finally get to the point where a baby will be arriving and a third midwife joins the room. All of them leave my side to put on their hospital gowns and surgical gloves, and I panic a bit that it's just Dan and me managing through contractions. I could feel a baby making her way down. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. They celebrated when they could see her hairy head and told me I could touch it, but I was so exhausted. I couldn't think of doing anything else other than trying to collect my sanity for the next push. At the end of each contraction, I could feel the baby would retract a bit. Oh man, I remember being so frustrated by that feeling. Dan was super encouraging. He was expressing awe and reassuring me, along with the midwives, that the progress was visibly evident, which helped me immensely. And after many contractions, I got so fed up with the pain and waiting that I was determined to push as hard as I could to get there faster. I felt like there was no end, but suddenly I felt baby exit and she was placed on my chest. I couldn't believe I was holding my own baby, and my only thought was, OMG, I did it. She was warm and a little bit slimy. I felt so loved and empowered and accomplished and intensely bonded to him through this whole day. This is very true. And here's the stuff that never shows up in movies. The things after the baby is born. My midwives coached me through fake coughing to birth the placenta. It's like coughing in this like weirdly rude way, like I'm sick. She clamps her umbilical cord and lets Dan cut it off. The midwife is going to visit us 3 times on day 1, day 3, and day 5 to check on Marla and me. The student midwife brings over my placenta and lays it on the surgical cart so she can show me its different parts. It is crazy. I grew an entirely separate and temporary organ. The midwife informs me I could choose to stay overnight, but it might not be restful due to being in a shared room, or I can go home, and I decide to go home. The student midwife helps me get out of bed and into the bathroom for one last pee before they remove all my IV equipment. I get into a wheelchair and Marla is placed on my lap in her car seat. The student midwife wheels me out to the elevator and a nurse nearby congratulates me, and she says she watches my YouTube channel wherever you are. Hope you're doing okay. I'm in good spirits and disbelief that we are really going home the same day. Dan exits first to confirm that my dad has arrived with the car, and then we all head out and the midwives help me into the car while Dan places Marla in the car seat tray for the first time. The midwives say, "See you tomorrow," and shut the car door. Birth and labor is a wild experience. I appreciated knowing about it before even considering having a child, because I just feel like it's like an enriching aspect of the human experience to hear about the ways in which all of us come onto this planet. But definitely after giving birth, there was a new vulnerability I shared with other people who had also experienced giving birth in any form. Birth is so incredible, but it's also so normal. Like, if I talk about it too much, I don't want to give people the impression that I think my birth or anyone's birth is like incredibly special. But then if I don't talk about it at all, it seems to really overlook something that is so incredible. So yeah, it's just weird to live in that duality, going through something that feels so intense, but also incredibly normal. Somehow we just have to hold those two things in the balance. It's Friday. The workout plan I've been sticking to for months now. Every Wednesday, every Friday. I try to get it done before Marla wakes up. Full body prenatal B. At the top, it tells me the equipment I need, so I'll get that together. My coach knows all the equipment that I have, so all my workouts have been structured with the fact in mind that I do have dumbbells, I have elastic bands, I have a bench. This is like the 90s, 80s version of that Bowflex one where you can change the weight on the dumbbell. There was a time where I brought out a lot of equipment, but ever since I've switched to trying to get my workout done before Marla wakes up, my coach suggested that we pare down the equipment so I could get to the workout faster, and that has been working. Although Marla does love it when we bring out the workout bench. It's like a fun thing for her to climb.
Up first is 30 seconds of clamshell. Press start to begin.
At the end, I just click submit. It was a pretty good workout. I'm gonna tell her that my front curl cannot go higher than 10 pounds. If you love the data and you have an Apple Watch, you can get some more detailed info on your workout, how long it was, your BPM, the calories you burned, the muscles that you used. And I'm gonna show you guys our chat. My coach always sends me reminders and encouragement to get the workouts done, and she asks me what's working, what's not working. Recently, I mentioned to her that I had some pec pain, so I was pointing it out to her, and she sent me a little video to ask some questions. We diagnosed it, and my pec pain, thankfully, was just temporary. I'll flip back to me. Hello, Sagwa, my workout supervisor. And that's it. The whole thing was done in less than half an hour. Everything in there fit with my fitness goals, the equipment that I have at home. I've never been able to stick to a workout program this much, and I think a big part of it is just that everything fits me and is realistic for me. Hands and your feet on the ground? Yeah. Oh, we're going upside down. Hello.
Hello.
Marla's in bed, and I'm here to do my Wednesday night prenatal mobility flow.
Focus on breathing. Inhale, expand. Exhale, deflate.
This is a workout that my coach put together to provide a little bit of prenatal stretching movement. I found stretching really helpful during the latter stages of my previous pregnancy, so I told my coach that I'd love to continue something like that. Nice. That was just 14 minutes. Submit. I usually don't really have any salty feedback. Sometimes when we're trying something new, I'll tell her if there's like a specific weight that seemed too much or too little for me, or if there's a move where I'm not totally sure if I have the right form, I'll ask her.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Sagwa. I'm on that 60 streak, 60 workouts in a row. In my previous video with Copilot, I think I mentioned one of their beliefs, which is the best workout for you is one that you can actually do. And I've set some very lofty goals in the past about working out, but seeing that I really can keep my streak at the level that we've discussed, agreed upon, and fine-tuned through experience is very gratifying. A lot better than punishing myself mentally for not doing things that I had no capacity to do. Dan went to this store near us that is just like really into pomegranate. They sell this pomegranate fruit leather, and yeah, we kind of like it. My mom used to make fruit leather from a crabapple tree in our backyard growing up, so maybe part of liking it is the nostalgia. Yeah, like this doesn't sound easy to make. Pomegranate fruit leather? I've been feeling kind of nervous this week because on Monday we're going for the anatomy scan. We'll get to see all of the baby's body parts. Hopefully everything's there. It's also the scan where lots of people find out the gender of their baby. I'm trying not to have too many thoughts related to that. I will say last time when we found out the gender, somehow it just started to make things more real. It doesn't make sense. Can't quite explain it, but that is how it felt. See you then. And here we are, halfway through my pregnancy. I'm on my way to the ultrasound appointment that I mentioned, and I wanted to take a second to open up the comments if you had any specific topics or questions that you are curious about. I'll take a look and address some of them in my next pregnancy update. I have been feeling a bit more willing to share this time around, and I've benefited personally from people sharing their experiences with me. So I share with the hope that it's encouraging, eye-opening, just part of the human experience. Don't forget to click my Copilot link. It's on the screen and I have it in the description. You'll get a 14-day free trial and 20% off your first month of personalized fitness if you sign up before February 1st. I genuinely am so thankful for them giving me confidence in my physical health and how I'm doing for the last 2 years. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here on this journey, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye!